In a world filled with noise, both external and internal silence is a rarity, often overshadowed by constant chatter, distractions, and stimulation. Yet silence has a transformative power, one that is deeply cherished and cultivated within Buddhism. To Buddhists, silence is more than just the absence of sound. It is a profound state of mindfulness where true understanding and inner peace are born. It allows us to detach from the chaos, connect with our inner wisdom, and experience life more fully. In this article, we delve into 5 significant situations where silence is recommended in Buddhism, offering a pathway to emotional healing, personal growth, and deeper connections with others. Before we dive into these 5 core Buddhist teachings on the transformative power of silence, please take a moment to like and share. If you find this video meaningful, doing so helps spread these insights to others who may benefit. Don't forget to subscribe as well, so you'll be notified whenever we share new content on mindful living and spiritual growth. Now let's begin our journey into these profound practices of silence. 1. Silence in moments of anger. Wisdom behind silence in anger. Anger is an intense emotion, often arising when we feel wronged, hurt, or threatened. Buddhism teaches that anger stems from attachments and aversions, attachments to how we think things should be, and aversions to how things actually are. In the heat of anger, it's easy to say or do things that we later regret. In Buddhism, silence is viewed as a powerful tool to contain and transform anger. When we remain silent, we're not suppressing our feelings. Rather, we're allowing space for the storm of anger to subside so that clarity and compassion can emerge. Anger, when left unchecked, causes suffering not only to ourselves, but also to those around us. By choosing silence in moments of anger, we create a pause that helps us observe our emotional state, recognizing the ego's involvement in our anger. It's an opportunity to let go of the need to react instantly and avoid escalating the conflict. Buddhist teachings suggest that silence allows us to face our own attachments, the expectations and judgments that often fuel our anger. Steps to practice silence in anger. 1. Pause and engage in mindful breathing. When anger arises, practice taking slow, mindful breaths. This allows you to center yourself and create a sense of calm before any reaction. 2. Reflect on the root of anger. Silently ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Look at what specific expectation or attachment might be driving your anger. By understanding this root, we weaken anger's hold over us. 3. Visualize the consequence of reacting. Picture how reacting impulsively might affect you and others. This visualization can serve as a powerful reminder to remain silent and calm. Choosing silence in the face of anger has several benefits. 1. Shields from impulsive reactions. Silence gives us a chance to slow down, reducing the likelihood of saying something hurtful or making a decision we'll regret. 2. Preserves relationships and self-respect. By holding back in moments of anger, we prevent damaging our connections with others and keep our own peace intact. 3. Enables growth in emotional intelligence. Practicing silence in anger allows us to understand our triggers and manage our emotional responses with greater maturity. Illustrative story. The 2 arrows. In Buddhism, there's a parable of the 2 arrows. The first arrow represents the unavoidable pains of life, the disappointments, frustrations, and losses we all experience. The second arrow is self-inflicted, created by our reaction to the pain. When anger takes hold, it's easy to react out of impulse, thereby driving the second arrow deeper. Practicing silence allows us to avoid this self-inflicted suffering by pausing and letting the intensity of anger pass, preventing unnecessary pain. 2. Silence in the face of gossip and slander. Ethics of right speech in Buddhism. Buddhism emphasizes the concept of right speech, one of the steps on the Noble Eightfold Path. Right speech is communication that is truthful, kind, and constructive. Gossip and slander, on the other hand, bring harm to both the speaker and the listener, spreading negativity and discord. In Buddhism, choosing silence in such situations allows us to uphold ethical principles and honor the integrity of our speech. Choosing silence. When we choose not to engage in gossip, we refrain from fueling harmful discourse. This silence does not mean complicity. Rather, it is a conscious choice to avoid spreading judgment and negativity. Silence allows us to practice self-restraint, and it provides an opportunity for self-reflection. Why do we feel the urge to gossip? Often it's rooted in our own insecurities or a desire for social acceptance. By pausing and refraining from gossip, we can gain insight into our motivations and work on building self-confidence. Impact of silence on others. Our silence in response to gossip sends a clear, non-verbal message that we do not endorse harmful speech. This subtle cue may even inspire others to reconsider their words. By refraining from gossip, we become an example of mindful speech, encouraging a culture of compassion, respect, and integrity. Broader impact. Cultivating a harmonious community. Choosing silence in the face of gossip goes beyond personal growth. It contributes to a more harmonious and supportive community. By not participating in gossip, we help foster a collective atmosphere of kindness and trust, essential elements of a spiritually healthy environment. 3. Silence during conflicts. Conflict in human interactions. Conflict is a natural part of human interaction, often arising from misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and differences in perspective. How we handle conflict can significantly impact our relationships and our own peace of mind. In Buddhism, silence is seen as a means of de-escalation, allowing us to step back from our ego-driven need to be right and instead prioritize understanding and compassion. Role of silence in conflict. During conflicts, silence allows us to practice active listening and empathy. By remaining silent, we avoid adding fuel to the argument and instead make space for reflection. This silence is not passive. It is a conscious choice to listen deeply, understand the other person's point of view, and let our emotional reactivity settle. Silence provides the opportunity to transform conflict into a moment of connection and mutual respect. Mindful conflict resolution. In mindful conflict resolution, silence serves as a pause that allows each person to cool down, preventing escalation. Rather than responding in a reactive way, silence enables us to approach the situation with an open mind, exploring how we can resolve the issue without harming the relationship. Buddhist principles applied: non-attachment, empathy, and non-reactivity. Buddhist principles such as non-attachment to being right, empathy for others' experiences, and non-reactivity are central to resolving conflicts mindfully. Silence helps us let go of our ego's need to win or be validated, allowing us to respond with compassion rather than judgment. 4. Silence when witnessing others' suffering. Compassion through silence. In moments when others are suffering, words can often fall short. While we may feel a strong urge to comfort someone, sometimes silence is the most compassionate choice. Buddhist teachings suggest that silence in these situations is a way of showing true presence, being there for someone without imposing our own interpretations or judgments. Creating a safe space for the sufferer. Silence creates a safe, non-judgmental space for the other person, allowing them to process their pain without the pressure of responding. By offering silent presence, we communicate that we are here to support, not to solve. This silent presence can be incredibly healing, as it respects the other person's capacity to navigate their own journey of healing. Principle of right speech. Right speech also guides us to recognize when silence is more appropriate than words. In moments of others' suffering, unnecessary words can deepen wounds or trivialize their pain. Silence, on the other hand, is a gift of empathy and respect, letting the other person know they are not alone. Contribution to healing. Offering silence as a form of support allows others to feel seen and understood without the need to perform emotional labor. It fosters a deeper sense of connection and helps the sufferer feel genuinely supported, facilitating healing in an authentic, compassionate way. 5. Silence in times of personal suffering. Introspective healing. When we face our own suffering, silence can be a sanctuary. Rather than avoiding or suppressing our pain, silence provides a space for us to explore and process our emotions fully. Through silence, we allow ourselves to feel without judgment, creating a foundation for true healing. Self-compassion in silence. Silence encourages us to face our suffering with self-compassion. In Buddhism, compassion begins with ourselves, acknowledging our pain without self-criticism. Silence lets us hold space for our pain, honoring it as part of the human experience and allowing ourselves to sit with our emotions instead of pushing them away. Connecting with inner strength. In moments of silence, we discover our inner resilience and our capacity to endure. As we sit in quiet contemplation, we come to understand that suffering is impermanent, and we gain a sense of strength from this realization. Silence enables us to navigate suffering with greater ease, deepening our sense of peace and patience. Aligning with Buddhist insights, Buddhist philosophy teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of life. By embracing silence in moments of personal struggle, we accept this truth, finding peace in the present rather than resisting reality. Silence helps us observe our suffering without attachment, allowing it to become a source of wisdom and growth. The transformative power of silence. Silence, often underestimated, holds a remarkable capacity to transform our inner world and our relationships. In Buddhism, silence is not a retreat from life, but a way of engaging with it more deeply, with mindfulness, compassion, and clarity. When we choose silence, we nurture an awareness that allows us to respond to life's complex situations with greater understanding and presence. Silence becomes a sanctuary, enabling us to observe our emotions, detach from impulsive reactions, and cultivate wisdom, even in challenging circumstances. Aligning with Buddhist teachings. In practicing silence, we align ourselves with key Buddhist principles: right speech, which discourages harmful words and encourages mindful communication; compassion, which emerges when we respect our own and others' suffering without judgment; and non-attachment, which allows us to let go of the need to control or react, and instead embrace a more open and flexible approach. Silence provides a framework for these teachings, reinforcing our commitment to inner and outer harmony, self-control, and kindness. A path to inner peace and enlightenment. By integrating silence into these 5 areas of life: anger, gossip, conflict, witnessing suffering, and personal suffering, we gradually reduce suffering, foster harmony, and promote genuine connection. In each of these moments, silence invites us to pause, to understand, and to respond from a place of calm and insight. This practice of mindful silence brings us closer to the Buddhist path of enlightenment, as it helps us see the interconnectedness of all beings and the transient nature of life, ultimately guiding us toward a state of lasting inner peace. Final reflection. In a world of noise and constant activity, silence offers the essential space for growth, healing, and transformation. Like air or light, silence is a fundamental element of a mindful, compassionate life, nourishing our ability to understand ourselves and others at a deeper level. Through silence, we learn to listen to life's subtler lessons, finding strength in stillness and clarity in the quiet. Embracing silence, we create room to cultivate the qualities that lie at the heart of a life well lived: empathy, wisdom, patience, and peace. In silence, we discover the fullness of the present moment, the richness of human connection, and the possibility of living each day with purpose and kindness. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and sharing it to help others discover these valuable teachings. By spreading these insights, you're not only supporting the channel, but also sharing the path to mindfulness, compassion, and inner peace with more people. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future content that brings even more inspiration and wisdom into your life.